The Manises Ufo Incident is the most famous UFO sighting in Spain, and is probably the only incident of its kind that caused the emergency landing of a passenger aircraft. It took place on November 11, 1979, when flight JK-297 of Transportes Aéreos Españoles was in course to Palma de Mallorca. At about 11 p.m., pilot Francisco de Tejada and his crew noticed a set of red lights that were fast approaching the aircraft. These lights appeared to be on a collision course with the aircraft, alarming the crew. The captain requested information about the inexplicable lights, but neither the military radar of Madrid or the flight control center in Barcelona could provide any explanation for this phenomenon. In order to avoid a possible collision, the captain changed altitude. However, the lights mirrored the new course and stayed about half a kilometer away from the plane. Since the object was violating all elementary safety rules and an evasive maneuver was deemed impossible by the crew, the captain decided on going off course and made an emergency landing in Manises Airport. This was the first time in history in which a commercial flight was forced to make an emergency landing because of a UFO. The flight crew reported the lights abandoning the pursuit just before the landing took place. However, 3 new UFO signals were detected by the radar, each one with an estimated diameter of 200 meters. The objects were seen by several witnesses. One of the UFOs passed very close to the airport runway, and emergency lights were lit by the land crew in case the object happened to be an unregistered flight experiencing difficulties. Given the lack of answer to all communication attempts, a Mirage F-1 took off from the nearby airbase of Los Llanos, Albacete, to identify the phenomenon. The pilot, Spanish Air Force Captain Fernando Camara, had to increase his speed to Mach 1.4 just to be able to get visual contact with what he perceived to be a truncated cone shape displaying a changing bright color, but despite his initial efforts the object quickly disappeared from sight. The pilot was informed of a new radar echo, which indicated that another object might be near Valencia. When the pilot was close enough, the object accelerated and disappeared again. This time, though, the UFO seemed to respond and the fighter had its avionics scrambled, its electronic flight systems were jammed, and the onboard alert system in the F-1 warned Captain Camara as if he was being locked on by a continuous wave missile radar. At last, and after a third contact attempt, the UFO finally disappeared, heading for Africa. After an hour and a half of pursuit, and due to fuel shortage, the pilot was forced to return to the base with no results. To this day, there is no official explanation. Some authorities discarded the sighting, saying the lights were flashes emitted by a factory about 100 miles from the incident's location. Both pilots rejected this theory. This is one of the most mysterious UFO incidents in history.